Thank you, Roar team and Big Butterfly Month, all the organizers for inviting me for this session. Today I'll be talking about terrace butterfly gardening. Now, terrace gardening, you all know, it may be a vegetable garden, orchid garden, or flowers garden. Now, in that garden, I will be introducing new term that is butterfly, that is a colorful, delicate, and uh, soothing to eyes. So that word butterfly is very pleasant. So I'll be introducing that word in this terrace gardening and to make it more colorful, more vibrant, more attractive. That is terrace butterfly garden. Now, coming to what do butterflies do in nature? So butterfly play important role. First is the pollination. Just like bees, they do pollination for flowers. Second, they're part of a food chain in various life stages, right from caterpillar to adult butterfly. The butterfly is a part of food chain for many predatory birds, or maybe ants, spiders, geckos, lizards, to all the garden birds. So they form an important part in the food chain. And thirdly, it is a sensitive indicator for the ecosystem because they have very short lifespan compared to others, maybe for few months, and their life is very fragile and delicate. So very slight change in the atmosphere, temperature, climate, it reflects in their population and it forms a very sensitive indicator for ecosystem. Now, after that black and white slide, coming to some colorful slides. Now you know what do butterflies do, but where are the butterflies? Now there is a common belief in city living people that I live in cities, it is full of buildings and concrete jungle. There are hardly any butterflies around my house, but that is not the case. There are butterflies everywhere. Only our eyes can't see it. If you take example of Pune city, Pune is a metro city, but even in city, Pune city, there are more than 120 species of butterflies. And I am happy to tell you that sitting at home at my terrace at around my house, I have observed 47 species of butterflies without stepping out of my house. So that is the abundance of butterflies all around our house. We just have to develop our eyes to see them. Okay. Now coming to what butterflies need. Now you have seen what butterflies do. You have understood, or I have just told you that butterflies are everywhere. You just have to watch them. Now coming to what butterflies require. So basic requirements for butterfly is the host plant. Then they will require nectar plant. Then there is mud puddling. There is a special activity of butterflies. And last and not the least, the sun and shade. They require sunlight. They require shade. Basking. That is the activity in which the butterflies take the sun's energy. So what happens in basking is that they will open their wings and allow the sunlight to fall on them. So their body warms up and they get the sufficient temperature to start their activity, daily activity, because they are cold-blooded insects, so they cannot control their body temperature. So they warm up by sitting in a sun with open wing. So in a terrace garden, if you have good sunlight, the butterflies will love to come and sit on the all the vegetations and with open wings to bask in the sun. So these are the butterflies. So this was the red period, the commonest butterfly in Pune city. This is a common mormon, again a common butterfly with open wings. It takes all the sun's heat to start the activity. It may not sit on the plants. It may sit on even a railing or even on the window grill to take the maximum sun's energy. So these are all butterflies visiting my terrace and windows for basking. This is a grass diamond butterfly, again basking in the early morning sun. Now, if there is no sunlight, then what to do? You cannot have sunlight in your terrace, but that is also not a problem. If you have good shade, that is also one of the requirements for butterfly. So when there is a cloudy or when it is heavy raining or when there is intense heat in the mid noon, when there is intense heat, the butterflies would like to take a shelter. So they will take a shelter under the leaves. So broad-leaf vegetation is a good place for butterflies to take shelter in case of rain and intense sun. So this is a immigrant butterfly taking shelter in a sonsafa leaf. This is again a butterfly that is a common grass yellow sheltering on a hibiscus yellow dried flower leaf. Now, many a times butterflies enter our house also to take a overnight shelter. So that is also very common. So this this one is the lemon pansy visited our house. Not only house, my table. Now, some butterflies may not be that colorful. With the closed wing, they look like a dried leaf in the corner of a room. But that is actually a chocolate pansy which is residing, taking shelter for overnight stay. Maybe morning with early sunlight, it will fly away. So all these are visitors who had visited my house at night for overnight stay. This is a egg fly. This is a common evening brown. Everyone must have experienced this butterfly coming, especially post monsoon, in the uh, in our houses and visiting the tube lights. So this is a common butterfly again to visit our houses. This is again a lemon pansy, and this is a tree brown. So all these are butterflies visiting late night or late evening for the overnight stay. Another thing which butterflies require is the mud puddling. Now, what is mud puddling? As the name suggests, they visit the mud or the wet patches and take the necessary nutrients, necessary electrolytes, necessary moisture. So that is again a basic requirement along with nectar for all these butterflies. So you can make a patch in your garden, just patch of wet clay, and the butterflies might visit that patch if it is wet, and especially during warm sunny days, the butterflies frequently visit such patches to take the necessary moisture. So this is a common jay visiting such a. It was an accidental setup. It was just a gunny bag which got wet, and it was kept in the corner of a terrace, and that was sufficient for that tailed common jay to visit for the mud puddling. So that is not a deliberate setup. That was just by chance. It was there, and the common jay enjoyed that. Now, after seeing the some basic requirement, that is sun, shade, and mud puddling, one of the important or the how the butterflies we recognize is the visiting the flowers. So they require some nectar plants. Now, nectar plants are that way somewhat different than what we usually have in our gardens. So this is a haldi kunku, also called a Mexican milkweed, Asclepias curusa. So that is a good nectar plant. Also, it is a host plant that will come later on, but that is a good nectar plant. The nectar plants are the plants whose flowers contain lot of nectar, and especially that nectar is attractive to the butterflies. Now there are some plants who have nectar, but instead of butterflies, the bees more commonly visit those particular flowers. So there can be butterfly attracting nectar flowers and bees attracting nectar flowers. So this one attracts both. This is a spotless grass yellow, and this is again a common in our Pune city, that is a red period. Both have visiting our terrace quite frequently. Second one, again a common flower in everyone's garden, that is Sadafuli or Vinca rosea. It is also a very good nectar plant, and all types of butterflies. So this is a skipper, this is a immigrant, that is white and yellow family, and this one is a common mormon. So all these butterflies from all families love to visit this plant, and especially the conventional variety, not the hybrid variety, the uh, common variety of Vinca rosea is the more nectar rich and it will attract than the hybrid or cultivated variety which have more colorful flowers but they are poor in nectar. So this is again a common nectar plant. Snakeweed or Stachyter feta, again a very beautiful plant with a delicate purple violet colored flowers. These are again easy to grow, no maintenance, and they are flower rich and the flowers are nectar rich. Again, all types of butterflies love this type of flower to nectar on. So this is gram blue, this is again a emigrant, and this is again a emigrant. So all butterflies will love this Stachyter feta or the snakeweed type of plant. Now, apart from these usual or common nectar plants, some plants, although not mentioned as nectar plant, but their flowers do attract butterflies. So this is a kadi patta flower inflorescence, and this is a tail jade, which is nectaring on that particular inflorescence. Some more colorful pictures. All these are flowers from my garden. May it be tagar. This is aster variety. This is a cucumber, hibiscus. This is plumbago. This is aboli. So all types of garden plants. So these are colorful garden plants, common garden plants, and they do serve as a nectar plant. And butterflies are attracted to all these flowers. So this is again a common Mormon red period, and this is lime butterfly. Again, common grass yellow. So all these butterflies will be attracted to all these flowers in my garden. Now, what are the other common garden nectar plants? These are the pentas, ixora, lantana, marigold, again very common, cosmos, clerodendron, verbena, tridax. So all these are again common and nectar plants. Now, what are the things to remember as far as the nectar plants are concerned? So butterflies will be attracted more if there are bunch of flowers. Instead of single flower, if there are bunch of flowers, naturally butterflies will get more nectar without moving a lot. So they love if there are bunch of flowers. Secondly, the butterfly eyes can see the bright colors. So if it is bright yellow, bright red, bright orange, so bright color flowers are more attractive to the butterflies. Thirdly, sunlight should be there. Good sunlight naturally will attract butterflies. Also, good sunlight will promote more flowering. So, in your terrace, the part which has good sunlight, try to have the flowering plants there maximum. So their yield will be also more. Butterfly will also be get attracted more in that particular patch. Fourth is a variety. There should be variety of flowers so that if at one particular season, if that plant is not flowering, the other will take over and the butterflies will keep on coming. Also, some butterflies will favor a particular flower, while some, for example, if the uh, Pinca rosea, the flower is a long tubular thing. So if the butterfly is very small, blue variety, the proboscis will be very small. So it cannot go right up to the base of the flower for nectaring. So that's why you should have varieties of flowers, some small flowers, some big flowers, colorful flowers, and they should be having all seasonal flowering. So at any given time, there should be some flowers in your garden. So that will keep on attracting the butterflies. It should not happen that 3 4 months, not a single flower, and suddenly there is bloom of flower. So try to maintain a variety so that all the time there will be flowers and all the time butterflies will be visiting your garden. Then selection of plants should be based on the locality, the butterfly and plant species which is there common in your locality. Now I stay in Pune, so all this mentioned the list is very common in everyone's almost household. So these are the commonly available and easy to grow varieties of plants. Then also you should look for the habitat and the space. So if a plant which is growing well in a moist climate or in a heavy rain area, don't try to plant it in your terrace if you are having a low rainfall. Or if your area is a dry area, don't try to plant the plants which are from the Sahyadris where there is a heavy rainfall. Also, take into account the space which you have. If you have a very small space, try to accommodate the plants which are small growing but still flowering. Instead of going for a bigger bushes and trees, try to plant the smaller plants which have good flowering. Okay. So all this selection of plants is very important. Now, this being a diverse group where people from all over state or India are there, I am specifying this point because in my area these are the plants which are common, so I am planting them in my terrace. Maybe in your area they will be there, but there will some more will be there. So you can try those plants instead of going for these plants. Okay. Now, apart from nectar plant, what butterflies require is the host plant. Host plant, what is host plant? Host plant is a plant on which the female butterfly will lay eggs. The eggs will hatch there and the caterpillar will grow. It will eat those leaves and it will pupate. Now, peculiarity of butterflies is that butterflies are brand crazy. So just like in us, if someone is using iPhone, if you offer him Samsung, he will say no, no way, I am not going to use it. Or if you someone is using Redmi, if you offer him Samsung or vice versa. So they have specific brands, just like us. So butterflies also have specific brands. They will lay eggs only on that particular family or group of plants. Even if nearby there is a lush green plant is there, it will not lay eggs on that. It will try to prefer her same family and try to locate that particular plant. It will locate by sight, smell. It will locate that particular plant and it will lay eggs on that particular plant. So these are the host plants. And unlike moths, where moths have varieties of host plants, so they have wide range of host plants. But that is not the case in butterflies. They have very narrowed down their brand. So there are very specific plants for specific butterflies. So if you have those plants, the butterflies will definitely lay eggs. Now, which are these? Again, common in our city is the red period butterfly, and the host plant for this is a Kalanchio or a Bryophyllum. So these are the two plants which are very commonly available in any roadside nursery, and this is the host plant for this butterfly. It will lay egg only and only on these particular plants. So this is a typical egg laying posture where the abdomen is curved and from here the egg is laid. This is the newly laid egg, you can see. Here it is laying egg on a flower. So this is a newly laid egg of that particular red period on this Bryophyllum. Second one, again common. Now this plant will be common in everyone's household in India. That is a curry patta or curry leaves. Now curry leaves, just like we use daily. Similarly, this common Mormon also loves these leaves because it is his host plant. So this is a common Mormon female laying egg on the young tender leaves of curry patta. Again, this is the peculiarity of butterflies. They will prefer smaller plants. They will prefer tender leaves. They will prefer young leaves to lay eggs than the mature one, a bigger tree, and parasitized or infected tree. So a healthy tree is usually healthy sapling is usually selected for laying the eggs because the young caterpillar which is hatched from the egg is hardly 1 or 2 millimeter. So for it to eat, the young tender leaves is the best. So butterfly also lays eggs on such tender leaves. Then lemon or citrus family plants. It is also a host plant for common mormon, lime butterfly, lime blue. So these are the caterpillars of common mormon. So just like curry patta or curry leaves, Lemon is also a host plant for common mormon. Add to that lime butterfly and lime blue. So it is also their host plant. And if you are lucky, the blue mormon, the state butterfly of Maharashtra, for that also this is the host plant. Okay. Now you can see that this is a very small sapling, hardly 6 inches tall, but already there are two caterpillars quite well grown. So that is the point. The butterflies will select small sapling than a big tree. So you don't have to, even if you have a limited space, you can have butterfly garden and at your whatever terrace is available to you. Now this is grass demon, again a skipper variety of butterfly laying egg on a stone takka or ginger lily. Other host plant for the same butterfly is a turmeric. Again, turmeric and ginger lily, these two are very commonly grown in terrace or in open spaces in as a uh, garden plant. And this is a host plant for grass demon. The peculiarity of grass demon is that the caterpillar will make a leaf roll and will live inside that particular leaf roll, and it will start eating the leaf from inside. So you must have seen or try to observe if you have a turmeric or ginger lily at your home or in a nearby or in your garden, try to look for leaves which have been rolled up. If it is a rolled up leaf, definitely there will be some caterpillar inside. So that is the grass demon on ginger lily. Now this is again a milkweed or the haldi kunku, which I just described as a nectar plant. Now it is also a host plant for butterflies like plain tiger, striped tiger, and common crow. This is again a common crow laying egg on the young tender leaf of haldi kunku. This is a well-grown caterpillar of plain tiger. The peculiarity of this plant is that it is full of white sap, the milky white sap. Now this white sap is toxic. So what caterpillar does, it nibbles the midrib so that the all sap will ooze out. And once the all sap is oozed out, then it will eat all the fleshy part without getting any toxic effects of that particular sap. So this is a milkweed, good nectar plant as well as host plant for tiger and common crows. Again, common garden plant, that is Son Safa or Champa. So this is a host plant for tail jay and common jay. So this is the tail jay laying egg again on the tender leaf. And if you see, there is one pupa over here. Maybe 1 month back, a similar tail jay had visited. The caterpillar grew, and in a 1 month time, it grew and pupated. And this is the pupa, well-formed pupa. Here you can see one more pupa, it is empty. Just last week it eclosed and a tail jay emerged out. So this is again a good host plant for tail jay and common jay. Now again back to curry patta or curry leaf. This is a inflorescence of curry leaf, and this is a common line blue laying egg on the bud, or I will say in the bud. The butterfly lays eggs in the bud. The caterpillar grows inside the bud, and once it grows fully, or uh, first and second instant, it will make an opening in that particular bud and it will come out, and then it will start eating the inflorescence or the flower part from outside. So that is again a protective mechanism of caterpillar. Now we are not going into details of the life cycle, that will again form a 1 or 2 hour lecture. So I'm not sharing any of the caterpillar or egg or any pupa photo here mostly. Now coming to list of some other common host plants from garden. So ficus or the fig species, that is you can have banyan, peepal, ficus, nerium or oleander. So it is a host plant for common crow butterfly. Office time, common garden plant, flowering plant. It is an host plant for egg fly. Palms, the uh, decorative palms from coconut. So all these are for bobs and palm fly. Bamboo is for red eye butterfly host plant. English tamarind grass yellow is the preferred for the English tamarind. Cassia varieties or bahava, again a good flowering plant. Immigrants is their butterfly of choice. So immigrants will lay on eggs on the cassia varieties. False ashok, again commonly grown in societies, in gardens, along the roads, along the compounds. So that false ashok is a host plant for again jay, tail jay and common jay. Mango, mango is for common baron. You must have seen the videos on WhatsApp sharing where a mango leaf is shown with a caterpillar with many hairs and bristles, and it is just blending in the reticular venation of that particular leaf. So that is a caterpillar of common baron. So that is one of the best camouflager in insect world. So that is a mango plant with a common baron as the its butterfly. Passion flower, tawny coster. Passion flower again common garden variety with beautiful blue flowers. So there tawny coster is prefers to lay eggs on that particular climber. Now, if you look at the list and all the photos which I have showed, you will get an idea that all these plants are common. And all these names you must have heard, you must have seen also, you must be having also. So what I want to stress is that you don't have to go for any exotic, any wild variety, any wildly growing plants, get them from jungle and try to plant in your terrace to set up a butterfly garden. No, not required. Just your own beautiful and common butterfly plants are enough to attract the butterfly. Okay. So all these list is very common and everyone knows these plants. I am just highlighting how they help in butterflying and how they serve as nectar plant or host plant. Now apart from nectar host plant, what else is the requirement of butterflies? So there are some butterflies which require fruits, the fruit sap, the overripe fruits, or they like fruit sap more than the nectar. So these are the Baron or Evening Brown or all brown varieties of butterfly. So if you have some overripe fruits from your kitchen, instead of throwing them away, you can keep it in your terrace at one corner, put a tray, and you can keep all those overripe or leftover uh, fruits, and the butterflies will get attracted to these fruit tray. Okay, so this is overripe banana on which this common evening brown. This is again a watermelon, and it is having a good drink. This common evening brown. So you can have in your terrace garden, apart from the host plant, nectar plant, sunshade, everything, you can have a small tray where you can keep these overripe fruits. If not butterfly, maybe bulbul or some birds also will visit and have a snack on these fruits. Now coming to the terrace garden as to attract butterflies. Another important thing we should understand that what we are providing is an ecosystem. We are not providing any breeding center. We are not trying to grow butterflies and release them. No, that is not our aim. We just have to develop an ecosystem where butterflies will thrive. And if it is ecosystem, there will be predators, there will be prey, there will be parasites, there will be hosts, there will be accidents, and there will be natural calamities. So everything is anticipated, and then you can have that terrace garden experience. So what are the predators in your garden? So there will be birds, tailor birds, bulbuls, prinias, minas. They will pick up the caterpillars. They will pick up the pupas, newly formed pupas. So after all, it's predator and prey game. Whoever wins will survive. Similarly, there can be spiders preying upon the caterpillars. There will be ants spraying upon caterpillar. There will be geckos and lizards. So all these are common garden predators. They will be part of that ecosystem and they will be there. You don't want to harm them. They will be there along with your butterflies. Now some predators are very well camouflaged. So that is again a good experience for us to observe. Not just butterflies, observing the other ecosystem components is also quite rewarding and quite happy to observe them. So this is a highly camouflaged crab spider. You can see it is blending in the yellow color of that particular flower, and similar crab spider species, when it is living on the inflorescence of white flower, it is turned into white. So this is how they hide and remain hidden, camouflage. So a butterfly visiting this flower definitely will fall prey to this particular spider. So this will be the part of the ecosystem, and we have to enjoy them, we have to live with them. Now apart from predators, there will be some parasites also. Now parasites for butterflies sounds very funny, but there are parasites who can parasitize the butterfly at any stage of its life cycle. So you can see this is a curry leaf plant with a newly laid eggs of a common mormon, and this is a wasp. This is a parasitic wasp which is laying egg in the egg of a common mormon. So what will happen in a day or so? This wasp egg will hatch inside the egg of mormon. The wasp larva will keep on eating all the nutrient from the egg. It will turn into pupa and it will make a hole into that particular egg, and the wasp will emerge out. There won't be any butterfly caterpillar. The butterfly egg will be dead. So this is how it parasitizes the egg. Not only egg, it can parasitize the caterpillar. The young caterpillars, so it will catch the caterpillar, lay eggs on the caterpillar, and similar, just like egg, the larva of the wasp will develop inside the caterpillar, and the caterpillar will die and wasp will come out. Not only caterpillar, even in young pupa, the young pupa will have a very thin skin. So in that, wasps can penetrate the ovipositor and can lay eggs into the pupa as well. Once the pupal skin hardens, then it is difficult for the wasp to lay eggs. But this is all will be there, and because in butterflies, suppose butterfly lays 100 eggs, only 2 eggs will reach till adulthood. All 98 eggs will be killed, will be eaten, or will fall prey to predators, or will fall prey to natural calamities, accidents, lack of host plant, or due to some other reasons. So that is in nature, only 2 will survive. So same will happen in your terrace, and but you can all the time enjoy all this rich diversity without going out of your house. So to continue with the micro ecosystem, so these are the mealybugs, again common pest in everyone's garden, especially post monsoon during early winter. So these are the mealybugs. But again, what is the interesting thing about mealybug is that there is a butterfly called as the ape fly. The ape fly will lay eggs in this mealybug colony, and the caterpillar, this is the caterpillar of mealybug, of ape fly. So this caterpillar will eat all these mealybugs and will grow. So this is the only caterpillar which doesn't eat leaves. It is insectivorous. It will eat the mealybugs and it will get converted to pupa. Now look at the pupa. Now you will understand why it is called ape fly. The pupa looks the face of an ape monkey. So that's why it is called an ape fly. So this is the ape fly. Again, a perfect ecosystem. You don't have to harm these mealybugs, so that the ape fly will lay eggs and you will have a life cycle of ape fly in your garden. Now these are some common things plus some surprises, because nature is full of surprises. We hardly know 1 or 2%. Rest all is surprises. So this is a rose, common plant in everyone's garden, not mentioned as a good nectar source nor a host plant for any butterfly. But just 2 weeks back during Ganpati festival, I found this caterpillar on this rose plant, rose flower. It grew, it pupated, and developed into nice common haze blue butterfly. So this is a empty pupa you can see. So this is one surprise which I saw just 2 weeks back. Another surprise, this is a bean which right now I am having in my garden, the climber. Just 2 weeks back, I observed this particular thing in one of the pod, and this turned out to be a caterpillar of some blue butterfly. Right now, the caterpillar has pupated. Maybe 1 week later, it will eclose, and I will come to know which blue butterfly is that. Some surprises are very hard to digest. So this is a butterfly caterpillar of grass demon from the Sontakka, and you can see the tiny larvae crawling out of the body. So this is a parasitized caterpillar, and these are all larvae of the parasitic wasp. The caterpillar will naturally will die. These larvae will pupate, and in a week or so many wasps will emerge out. Again, this is a unfortunate common mormon. It developed almost completely all the vital organs. There is eyes are there, proboscis is there, legs are there, wings are poorly developed, and its abdomen is filled with parasitic larvae. This larvae just come out penetrating the abdominal skin. This will again will have an unfortunate ending as the larva will grow and pupate to release the parasitic wasp. Some funny surprises, common evening brown laying eggs on the wall. Usually it should lay eggs on the host plant, but it laid eggs on the wall. Another good surprise to observe, macro surprise. This is a caterpillar of common line blue on the curry leaf inflorescence, and you can see two ants are there. Now these ants are not troubling or eating or killing this particular caterpillar. Actually, it is a good symbiotic relationship between these two. The ants will give protection to this caterpillar, and in return, caterpillar will give sugary sap from its dorsal openings. So that is what the ants are waiting there. So once the sap droplet accumulate there, the ants will have it. So it is a perfect example of symbiotic relationship. Some more eye-catching surprises. The peacock pansy. In 7 years, just once she visited my house, and it was enough to make my day. Now we are almost reaching to the end. Now you have seen all the gallery or the photo of all the my terrace activities. You must be eager to see my terrace. Now I will take you to my terrace, some photographs of my actual terrace. So this is my terrace. You must have imagined a very big terrace, but this is a very small terrace, just 10 by 10 terrace with around 50 plants. So this is a very small terrace. This is my sitting spot to enjoy the beauty, quite relaxing and refreshing. Now at one wall I have made it a 3-tier AC with all the flowering plant. This is Sadapuli, this is milkweed. This will be flowering next month. Again, these are all kitchen plants for day-to-day use. So this is the other wall full of sunlight, full of shade, and perfect mixture of all varieties of plant. This is a son safa, there is kalanchi, this is son takka. These are the beans. This is curry leaf, hibiscus. So all varieties are there. These are roses. So it is not that it is just a butterfly garden. It is a mixture of all plants in our usually or commonly seen in our gardens, just maintain and kept nicely so as to attract the butterflies. Now if you want to start butterfly garden, how you should start? Now monsoon is the best season because then the plantation or sapling to grow is very easy. You don't have to do much. Locally, commonly available, easy to get and easy to grow. Stick to these principles. Okay. So So should be locally available, common to grow, easy to get and easy to grow. Because when we start with having some wild varieties, some exotic, some rich varieties, some tall trees, if you are planning plant a sapling, then either you lose interest or what happens that the plant becomes so big or unmanageable that again you will lose the interest. So it should not happen. It should be sustainable efforts. So select locally common, easy to get and easy to grow. So you don't have to work too much for your garden. Then start with the nectaring plants. Don't directly jump onto host plant. Start with the nectaring plant. So butterflies will start visiting the garden. The varieties of butterflies will start visiting garden. Then you can add the overripe fruits, leftover fruits in a dish so that the brown varieties will get attracted. Rearrange your all the plants, move to shady area, move to sunny area, have some flowering plants, don't overcrowd. So likewise, you can rearrange the plants, and after that, what you have to do is wait, wait, and wait. Butterflies will come. Maybe not in 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months down the line. Maybe next year during next season they will come. But if there are nectar plants, good flowers, butterflies will come. Coming to the maintenance part, how to maintain? Keep on adding new plants every season. Exchange the seed sapling with the friends. So you can form a small circle, and if you are having plenty of some sapling or the seeds will fall down, you can exchange those seeds, get a new plant from your friend. Like that, you can continue with your butterflying activities. Insecticides and pesticides, strictly avoid using them because they will kill butterflies in all stages, maybe egg, caterpillar. Also, the smell will distract adult butterflies from visiting your garden. So avoid insecticide, pesticides, chemical fertilizer, strong sprays should be strictly avoided. Have some shade and sun, a mixture of shade and sun in your garden. Plus, if you have got a good garden, good area, you can keep one patch which is unattended, unmaintained patch. So let grass grow, let some weeds grow there, let some wild varieties of plants and flowering plants, let them grow. So that itself also will form a good habitat for some blue or some smaller butterflies to visit. So you should not be everything to be perfect and neatly arranged with uh, all the pots neatly arranged, they are colored and they are labeled. No, it may be haphazard, but just make it look beautiful and keep a corner which is unattended. Just let it grow however it way it wants to. Now what will happen if you have butterfly garden or you are having butterflies in your house? You should be ready to accept this. You will have some half-eaten egg leaves. The birds will be eaten. The flowers which are there, you cannot pluck the flowers. Avoid plucking flowers because flowers are look best when they are on the plant. So don't try to pluck the flowers. Also be ready to see such kind of leaves on your plant. This is such a big caterpillar. Within a day, it will eat this much of a plant foliage. Also, the blooming kalanchoe, within a month it will turn leafless. But you should accept this because in next season it is again going to regrow. And in meantime, you can have a dozens of red periods growing on this. Also, if the same plant you are using for your day-to-day activity, cooking, what you can do is you can spare one branch for butterflies, caterpillar. The other thing you can use. So this is the curry leaf plant. We are daily using one leaf from it for making curry. And the caterpillar branch is secured by this nylon fridge vegetable bag. So the caterpillars will grow here and we can have the fresh supply of the leaves from here. There will be some caterpillars who don't like to stay here. So they will migrate all the way and again will sit over here. So that is a part of nature. Everything will happen. Every time you pick up leaves, make sure that there is no caterpillar on it. Some don'ts. Now we have seen what are the things we can do, but what are the things we should not do. Going too close to butterfly, because you are enthusiastic, you see a butterfly, you try to go too close to it, it will fly away. Secondly, if you are observing life cycle, don't disturb the pupation and eclosing. Pupation means caterpillar turns into pupa. Eclosing means the pupa turns into butterfly. So these are the two very delicate stages, active stages in butterfly life cycle. Any disturbance will kill a butterfly. So do not disturb. Let it be happening in its own way. You just observe it. Don't, while the pupation is going on, don't try to move the plant, don't try to shift the plant, no vibration, no shaking, no flash, no nothing. Also, strong sprays should be avoided. Another thing, don't pick up any unknown eggs, caterpillars from nature and try to grow in your garden, because you are not doing this is as a nature does. This is something abnormal or unnatural you are doing. Secondly, if you don't know the particular eggs or caterpillars are of which caterpillar, butterfly or moth, there is no point in bringing them in your home and putting on some plant, because that is going to die, because we just saw they have specific host plants. Also, sometimes even the host plant is same. If you change the plant, the caterpillars may not accept it and may die. So don't pick up any unknown eggs and caterpillars from nature and put it in your garden. This is strictly no unhealthy, unroomy, moist box. Never, never do that. Don't put caterpillars in a box and try to raise them. Caterpillars will grow best when they are growing on the plant itself. Handling should be avoided. Don't try to pick up the caterpillar in your hand. Don't try to pick up or don't try to catch butterfly in your hand. Don't try to keep your hand on a closing butterfly to climb it on your hand. Don't try to photograph such things, because they get carried away on social media. People will see that, oh, I am having a butterfly on my chick on my hand. Some other over enthusiastic, without knowing the background, without knowing any history of butterfly, will try to catch the butterfly, keep it on finger and try to click a photograph. That will kill the butterfly. So strictly avoid handling of butterfly. You can observe them from 1 feet. You can observe them with macro lens. You can observe them with your eyes, but don't handle them. Now, with all this brief information, you must have developed some interest, some curiosity in butterfly gardening, must have got some knowledge about butterfly. Now, these two things, now you all have to observe, follow. That is the observation. We should be keen in observation. Any change in the leaf, any change in your flower, any change in your plant, how the caterpillar looks, how the egg looks, how the butterfly looks. So any change in your usual plant, you should pick up any leaf roll, any half-eaten leaf, any caterpillar droppings. If you see on the floor, you may not see caterpillar. If you see caterpillar droppings on the floor, it should arise a suspicion. There are dropping, there will be some caterpillar up on the twig. So you can search and then you might find a caterpillar there. Because caterpillars are camouflage, they will hide. Unless you know them, you cannot find them. So that is how now, using this interest, curiosity, knowledge, you have to develop some observation and patience. Patience is again very important thing. It is not going to happen that today you plant a kalanchi and next day there will be red period on it. It may take 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, but you should be observant, you should be patient. Definitely the butterfly will come to your garden. You have to be patient. And this knowledge part, you must keep on updating time to time with your observations and with your interest. Maybe you can have a observation giving you some knowledge, maybe some friend sharing some information, some books, some online platforms will give you some knowledge, but you have to use that knowledge in developing the observation and developing this habit of or hobby of butterfly. So what this butterfly gives me, it gives 6 hours. That is, it is rewarding, it is refreshing, it is recreating. Observing a butterfly nectaring on a plant, it is growing into egg, caterpillar, pupa, going to a new butterfly. This is the latest photo, just click 2 days back. Two tail jays emerging on this Sonsafa or Champa plant. It is relaxing. Definitely, it is relaxing to observe beautiful butterflies visiting your garden. You don't have to go out. They will come to your garden if you have right setup of your garden. And it is recharging. So it recharges you, refreshes you. All your day-to-day fatigue and stress is relieved by watching these butterflies. What else the butterfly gives? This is my first book of butterflies. I was fascinated by the cover page with a common Mormon nectaring on the Statutor feta or the snakeweed, and nothing like that if you get a similar kind of photos sitting in your terrace and clicking the photographs. This is a male common Mormon. This is female common Mormon. This is also a female common Mormon. So nothing like that if you get a book picture like photo in your terrace garden. So to conclude, butterflying is a nice hobby, nice activity, and without doing much, you can experience, you can enjoy in your own terrace garden. Don't have to spare much time, don't have to go for any exotic, any special plants, just common plants and some basic tips, and they will come to you to give you nice, eye soothing experiences. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sanjay sir. It was really
Thank
an
you.
insightful session, and I'm sure a lot of the participants might have gotten inspired, and they'll start setting up a butterfly garden at
Sure.
their place. So we'll open for the question and answer session. For we have 80 participants now. If you
Okay.
have any questions, please send in the chat channel so that I'll read it out to Sanjay sir. Also, please send in your feedback in the WhatsApp group so that after the session, I'll also convey that to him. So our first question is host plant for ape fly.
Uh-huh. So ape fly host plant, there is no host plant, they will feed on the mealybugs. So mealybugs on whatever plant they are, that will be the place where the ape flies can deposit the egg. Commonly it is a hibiscus, but even on many other garden plants, the mealybugs are there. So any plant will be there where mealybugs, that will be the host plant.
So someone is asking how high is your terrace? Like which floor?
I I live on the 6th floor, so maybe around 70 feet high, and on all sides there are buildings. We are living in one of the most crowded place in Pune, that is Kothurud area. There are buildings all over around my house, and I am on 6th floor. And it is quite surprising that the smaller butterfly, the blue varieties, also visit that high to lay eggs. The common line blue, the red period, the uh, grass blue.
We have one question. Can we add natural pesticides to avoid other insects?
Natural pesticides we can have, no problem. You can use dilute soap water. You can use that chili ginger uh, paste solution that you can use. You can gently rub the leaves if there are any aphids or similar kind of pests. You can gently rub with a soap solution spray and gently rinse them. So that won't harm the plant nor the butterfly life cycle. That you can do.
Okay. The next question. My terrace is on the 4th floor. So will there be a problem setting up a garden at this height?
No problem at all. No problem at
Someone is asking how to manage menace of pigeons.
all. I'm also trying different things. Every time I plan something, maybe it works for 3 4 months. After that, the pigeons learn and they will come with their new weapons, not weapons, but they will get used to the new thing. Again, I will have to develop something new. That is going to happen. That is again a part of nature. So you cannot do anything much more. You can put up that pigeon nylon net, but that will again interrupt all the big butterflies from entering your garden. So I'm not using any nylon net for pigeons. If it comes, I just have to. Uh, there is hardly anything I can do. They are part of the nature.
So the next thing is I have a 1x10 window space. Will it be able will be able make use of it? I live on first floor. I see good activity around my place.
Acha. What you are having? I did not get it.
Is having 1x10 window space. Is that enough for
Acha.
butterfly garden?
Yes, yes, yes. My initial house also had just 2 windows, and I had one kadi patta, that calonche, and one ginger lily. Only 3 plants were there, and in due course of time, maybe in 3 4 years, all were used sometime or the other by the butterfly. So space is not a problem. Even single plant you can keep it, but maybe you have to wait for a longer period of time for butterflies to get there.
Yeah. So the next question is,
And
do you have tridax in your terrace garden?
pardon, red
Do
eye.
you,
Yes,
yeah.
I basically I'm not having bamboo, but in my society premises I had observed red eye because there is bamboo in society premises. So there was red eye that I saw in my society, not in my terrace garden.
Okay. So the next question we have is, please let me know if beetle leaf is a host plant. I have heard from a friend that she has spotted some caterpillars.
Pardon?
Uh, he's asking, please let me know if beetle leaf is a host plant.
Beetle leaf. Uh, yes, beetle leaf is a host plant. I don't know the name of the butterfly, but as I told you, depending on locality or depending on habitat, a beetle leaf is more in Konkan area or southern area, and it is not in our part of state. So I don't know anything about beetle leaf. But on one WhatsApp group, there was sharing of a photo of a caterpillar, and I don't exactly remember, but some swallowtail is a host plant, has a host plant as a beetle leaf.
Okay, so someone is asking, currently I'm observing two brown colored larvae, which was first seen on lily plant. But
Uh,
interestingly, the larvae are eating dried leaves of other plants. Do you know which larvae it is?
uh, if it is lily plant and the caterpillar with a red and white dots on it, it may be a lily moth caterpillar. Moth caterpillar. It is unlikely that it is eating dried leaves because they will prefer the fleshy and green leaves. Uh, Maybe you can share the photos and we can have a talk what type of butterfly or what type of caterpillar it is. And many of the moth caterpillars you might have seen, but later they disappear. And actually, the thing is that they will pupate under the ground. Unlike butterflies who pupate on the plant itself or some other hard surface nearby, most of the moth caterpillars they pupate underground. They will fall on the ground, they will go underground under the foliage, under the leaves, and they will pupate there. So you will find a big caterpillar, next day it is gone. So it is usually the pupation, or maybe the bird will have snack.
Okay, so we have another question. Can you please share the list of host plants and name of butterflies apart from the slide that you shared in the PPT?
Uh, these are all, as I mentioned, this was a but terrace garden. From point of view of terrace garden, so I have included only the common garden plants. Now, if you go into the field or into the wild, you will find many more host plants and many more butterfly species for that. Maybe you can refer any book. You will find all the host plants and the how do they grow. So maybe ranging from big trees like people to a small Capparis plant. So all these are host plants. They are seen in all the hill slopes, roadsides, in the jungle, in the farmlands. So all these are even castor plant. It is a host plant for common castor, but we hardly plant them in your our terrace. If we can plant, no problem. There will be common castor visiting your terrace garden. So there are hundreds of butterflies and there are 200s of host plants.
Okay, a couple of them are asking your, can I get sir's contact number?
You can take my contact number from Sharon on that group. She can share my contact details.
Sure, sir.
You
I'll
can
do
contact
that.
me anytime, no problem.
Lot of appreciations, and many of them are saying thank you for organizing this session.
Okay.
As
Thank
a
you.
terrace
Thank you.
gardener, very much benefited as a terrace gardener.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
Do we have any more questions? Okay, we'll take a couple of last questions. So there's a question which says, why red parrot prefers Kalanchoe over Bryophyllum when both plants are available at same place and Kalanchoe number is less? Is there any specific receptor to
No,
specific plant in their feet?
no, there is no specific criteria for selecting particular plant for egg laying. Even if there are two plants side by side, it will randomly select any plant or may lay eggs on both the plants. It is not like that. So if there is, even for that matter, for hormone also, if there is lemon plant, there is curry leaf plant, it will select at its random whichever plant to lay eggs. There is no hard and fast rule to select one particular and not to select other plant. So that's why if you have a variety, your chances of having butterfly will increase automatically.
Okay, so we'll take one last question. So there's a question which says, if there are some species that is listed in our city state list, but not seen around our house exactly, will planting host plant invade them?
Uh, if the adult butterfly is not seen in that particular area, even if you plant the host plant for that, it is unlikely or very rare to have that butterfly having a life cycle on that particular plant. Because if the adult is not there, there won't be any egg laying on it. Very rare chances, occasional visit may be there for the adult butterfly, but it may not lay eggs. For example, the Nawab. Nawab is that way not a seen in cities, but few years back that Nawab was sitting right on my window. So such chance findings will be there as a part of nature, but it may not be sufficient to complete the life cycle and to observe them regularly. Just once in a while you will observe such rare things.
I think we are done with the question, sir. So before we end, thank you so much, Sanjay sir, for being part
Thank you,
of this
Sharon.
BBM talk series.